Hi, everybody. And first of all, I want to say welcome everybody to the Ovid Elsie High School. For all of you that have never been to this high school system, it was created back when the voters said in 1965 they wanted to combine the Ovid Elsie school systems of the Elsie schools and the Ovid schools to create the current Ovid Elsie schools. And you're now currently in the Donald G. Thayer auditorium. So in 1967, the students combined in the two rival sport teams, which we were very good sport. We loved sports. We loved to fight about things, and that was a good deal. And it didn't take long to find that the groups became interdependent on each other. Another thing that brought this together was, oh, by the way, if you didn't remember a little bit of history, the bell and the telephone systems went to what's called the extended long distance. So then Ovid and Elsie people could talk without being charged money. Yep, those of us that were around that thing, we remember back when we had to pay long distances for everything. And although it wasn't as much money that it was, but ultimately the main thing is, hey, it made this school what it is back then. And just so you know, that the current system is relative to what is new, this school system last year became 50 years old. 50. So if you were the class of 1967, wow, think about that. I graduated the year after that, so this year, we're just finishing, I became our 50th anniversary. Something I should say about Benny Sloat, he graduated the year after me. So if you were thinking about what it was back when Benny would still be walking these halls. Wondrous person that he was unique, and I can still see Benny. And back when we were in elementary school, in my mind, I go, Benny, you know, you did something awesome for our country, but I want to make certain you know that we remember you. So the four schools named the school the Marauders because of a local veteran from our area served with Merrill's Marauders. That was an interesting thing. He served during World War II. It was kind of a thing that helps to add that people wanted it to be the Marauders, because the top grossing movie in 1967 was Merrill's Marauders. Now, maybe if you haven't seen that movie, should be a mandatory thing for reading for the Ovid Elsie kids to view that. So we wanted to have a name that would continuously remind us, the people to serve in the American way of life and to keep it free. The students have followed rememberings of that by the community of students and have created a brick memorial here at the high school. So I never dreamt that one day I'd grow up to do something special for the community and the families, and these two individuals that we honor here today. I'm certain they never, while they were growing up, thought that families would be remembering them, but in a more somber way. But now I look out on this awesome audience, and I want to let you know that I hope that these people are looking down on us, thinking that we are doing something special, something wonderful for the good of our community and our students, so that we never forget what they did and the fact that they were Ovid Elsie Marauders. And so to me, it's a great thing for the students and the teachers, as well as the people from this great state, to share this dedication right now. So without further ado, honor guard, color guard, present, post the colors. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Let me get you back up one more time. You don't mind doing the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now you can have a seat. Mr. Bolton. We will be doing the invocation of Mr. Lee Bolton as the American Legion chaplain.
Oh, most gracious and Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We ask your blessings upon each and every one here, upon all those that have gone on before us, that we may enjoy the freedoms of our lives and our religion and our country's greatness that we have. In the Lord's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. At this time, I'm going to welcome our honored guests that we have here today. I want to thank the PFC Benny Sloat family. We have Staff Sergeant Ricky Kieffer family. Major General Michael Stone, Assistant Adjutant to the General of Michigan Army National Guard. Members of Ricky Kieffer's unit, the Battle Buddies of 182nd Field Artillery. There was some, they were saying they were coming? Yep, right there, I didn't stand up, okay. All right. Representative for U.S. Congressman Marla Conover's in the office, there you are. And then Michigan Senator Rick Jones. State Representative Ben Frederick. State Representative Tom Barrett. You didn't see him, then he said he was coming. State Representative-elect Graham Filler. And Ovid City Mayor Bill Lasher. And Ovid Police Chief Al Goodrich. Back there, right there he is. And Elsie Village President Tom Frick. Right down here, thank you. Clinton County Road Commissioner Joel Pulver. Right down here, yes. Shiawassee County VA Director Michael Reeve. I misput his name in there, so I didn't think. My fault. Ovid Elsie Superintendent Dr. Ryan Cunningham, Principal Jason Tokar, and Assistant Principal Corey Govinda. Ovid Elsie students, if there was some that was saying they were going to stay up. And then Ovid VFW 8964 members and leader Leonard Hike. And then Elsie American Legion Post 502, Mr. G. Nothaway, and Ovid Elsie will see us with the flags. Leonard, you want to say, introduce you?
Thank you, G. I'm Leonard Hike. I'm the commander of the VFW Post in Ovid. It's kind of a hard thing to do to follow Gene here when he gets wound up here. I want to welcome everybody here too from the VFW Post in Ovid. I'm a 3-tour Vietnam vet, and I knew Benny and his family real well growing up there. Of course, Bill has passed away, and but Bobby and Rick are here, and it's good to see them again here. Barbara and Howie. I went to school with Barbara at one room country school out there in the state park, and I've known Howie. He never passed up a good year in any place. So anyway, I just wanted to Welcome everybody here. It's nice to see this crowd, and I've got a couple of people that I especially would like to introduce. One of our members over here, Bill Aldrich, World War II veteran from the Pacific. Bill, you want to raise your hand? And also Irene Hosking. She's the ringleader of the Corona VFW over there. And I don't know if I should tell this or not, but she's 100 years old this year, and she's still going strong. Appreciate you being here, both of you. So anyway, I'll turn this back over to Jean, and with that, I thank you for all being here.
And Irene, thank you. By the way, he didn't say that she's a World War II nurse. And we're good friends because I was a Vietnam nurse. So kind of one of those when it's hard to find. There's only 3 that I know of in our county. So we're good. We're special when we get together. It's fun. Good afternoon and welcome to the Ovid Elsie High School, where we're a little bit of unveiling of the memorial signs. Benny Sloat and Ricky Kieffer outside in the balmy Michigan air that we have outdoors. And we hope that you didn't have difficulty getting here. And here's a bit about me as the commander. I'm of the American Legion Post 502 of Elsie. I served starting during the Vietnam War. First I was an Army medic. I became singled out by my knowledge of medical items and in my advanced individual training, and was picked to go to nursing school in the Army, where I graduated, and then after that was taking care of patients during the Vietnam War. I also was serving with the Michigan National Guard, working with helicopters, Grand Ledge, and as the unit's medical subject matter expert during Grenada, Panama, and the Gulf War. Our American Legion Post is comprised roughly of about 90 veterans, 17 active from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, and the Gulf Wars in the Middle East that we're currently serving in. For quite a while, our war veterans in this area have been working together. The VFW of Ovid and the American Legion Post of Elsie have been raising the United States flag together at the home football game at Ovid Elsie Sports Stadium. This fall, near the beginning of the start of the season, we were at the top of the bleachers getting ready to walk down to the front and go out there and do our thing where we raise the flags. I overheard someone in the crowd talking about they should be doing something special for someone, and should have, and I just don't know who they are, but I recognize what they had said. And in my mind, it's locked on Benny and Ricky as we walked out to the field and did the duty of raising the flags. I then asked Leonard of the VFW would be interested to go along with our American Legion Post in honoring Benny and Ricky Kieffer and adding honor to our local roads. Leonard immediately agreed that we should work together as a worthwhile endeavor, and later both posts agreed that we should do this in our meetings. So now that you now know all of this, you'll know how this all got started. Just by a simple little, you hear somebody, you don't know what you should do, and then wait a second, if you have the ability, do it. So that's what we're doing today. We now want to move on to the meat of the dedication. We hope that you enjoy the efforts of what we're trying to make happen today. So, we talked about the Sloat family briefly, and then the Kieffers, and ultimately, wondrous thing. I'll talk a brief little thing here for the students and some of the people that remember what goes on. If you think about this, Benny would still be in school. And what was Benny Sloat? Benny David Sloat was born on October 30th, 1951, St. John's. His father was Victor Sloat, mother was Jane Sloat, and awesome people. Jane was coming to our post and doing things with us. It's been a great family. I really have enjoyed knowing them and want to make certain this continues. You know, he graduated in '69, almost 50 years ago, and his graduating class is celebrating now. So he lived in Ovid, went to North Elementary, and he went to kindergarten with Mrs. Whittemore. Oh, wait a second. I remember Mrs. Whittemore. The concept, Benny, because Mrs. Whittemore went on to teach about 14 more years in the school system, so I knew that. So he was with the Ovid school system from 1956 to 1966, and then he entered Ovid Elsie High School in 1967, 68, and 69. He went into the U.S. Army January 13th, 1970. Died on Wednesday, March 19th, 1970, 9.5 months after he graduated. 18 years, 4 months, 20 days when he was killed by a mine in Vietnam. He was missing for a while. They couldn't find his body, and then eventually they did, so his body was recovered, which is why for a while they had him listed as a POW MIA, which is why we added the POW MIA flag here today, because for a while he was. And it was in the Quang Nam, South Vietnam, B Troop, 1st Squadron, 1st Cavalry, AmeriCal Division of the United States Army, Republic of Vietnam. And he's on the wall with 58,489 other people. I wanted to make certain that I got down some of the things that happened back then because, well, the students today don't know what it was like when we kind of was going through this. At that time, Woodstock happened. There was Charles Manson did his thing and destroyed some lives. The Monty Python Circus and then the Sesame Street debut. The Bell Bottoms were the big thing. And film of that year was Love Bug, The Funny Girl, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And ultimately, there was films was True Grit, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and Easy Rider. Songs was Rolling Stone, Honky Tonk Woman, James Brown, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan. These are some CCR, John Denver. A lot of us remember that if you're thinking about that. But the concept, this is all Benny knew. He never got any farther. The technology, the first human eye transplant, the Seco first quartz watch, the Harrier jump jet, the Palace PLO came along, the creation of the RNet, and oh, by the way, the internet first started that year with the military. So the first CCD, which is a process where we take a picture without using film, and that all took place when Benny was here in Ovid Elsie, and then went on to what he had done. I'm not going to pick on him now. I'm going to go to Ricky's years. And Howard and Barb Kieffer's his parents, Patricia's his wife, and son Dustin, and daughter Kira. He was a homebody according to what I was reading on him, but ultimately he was an outgoing person, and he was Operation Iraqi Freedom, 36 years, 3 months, and 24 days that he had lived when a sniper took him away from us. Served 4 years in the Army in 1986 to 1990 and joined the Michigan National Guard in 1991 and served 14 years, total 18. Back in 1986 when he went to school, it was the Libya bombing and the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. Emails debuted, the internet, mail access protocol, the human genome started, Chernobyl happened. Films was Top Gun. I know my son watched the victims of that one. Crocodile Dundee, Pluntoon, and the Karate Kid 2, Star Trek, and then musicians Billy Joel, Robert Palmer, Lionel Richie, Debbie Harry, and Simply Red, and Genesis, etc., Madonna. TV programs, Magnum PI, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, and things. Technology, the UK and constructed was a tunnel to go across there. Mir Space Station was on, IBM's first laptop, and the British surgeon did their first triple transplant of a heart, liver, and lung that year. The concept was, when I was going through this, and I was talking to Congressman Mullen, our secretary, And she said that would be a nice touch to talk about what it was back when Ricky and Benny grew up, because that's when a lot of us grew up. And some of our young students here today, that's a wonderful thing to make certain that we don't forget how that part went. At this point, I'm going to open this up to one of the, if you would, want to come up? Major General Michael Stone.
First of all, Senator, Representatives, thank you for being here. I know Tom Barrett, Representative Barrett, he would be here. He's still serving today in uniform as well. It takes, you know, they have incredibly busy schedules. This says a lot about you and how much this matters. The Sloat family obviously didn't know Jason Sloat, but thank you for your sacrifice and Kieffer's. Thank you for yours. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep this upbeat. So I am, on behalf of the Major General Band and the Adjutant General of Michigan, and the 10,500 men and women that serve today, and your Michigan National Guard, I'm proud to be here, but this one's extra near and dear to my heart. I was the battalion commander of the 1st and 182nd. I was the one responsible for the unit to get it out the door. I had deployed twice before 2004 when Ricky went downrange. And I was scheduled to go on that deployment, but they peeled off the headquarters at the last minute. So I learned a lot about deployments, being on the back end of a deployment for the first time in my life, and how hard that is for the families. You know, those that have served and those families that have served and paid the ultimate sacrifice, dates are important. March the 2nd, March the 15th, March the 19th, September the 15th. I can tell you, the guys in the 182nd, you know, every time the Ides of March comes around, you know, we're communicating with one another. If you don't know, you probably don't know most of the audience. At the Joint Forces Headquarters of the Michigan National Guard in Lansing, Michigan, we have a hall of heroes. We have lost 21 soldiers since 9/11, including, of course, Sergeant Kieffer. We recognize 2 of our Latvian brothers that served with us in our State Partnership for Peace that gave their lives in Afghanistan serving with Michigan Guardsmen. But I can tell you 2 personal things that I would share with everybody. Colonel Myers was the commander downrange, and he's here today. In my nightstand, I still have the CD of the memorial service in the theater. Be strong. Sorry. And then every day, I have a hard day. Every day I have a hard day. I walk down the Hall of Heroes, and I talk to Ricky. He gives me strength. His sacrifice gives me strength. There's nothing I cannot do. I just look at his picture, and I talk to him. He doesn't talk back. But I talk to him, and whenever I'm feeling down, whenever I'm feeling things are too hard, whenever I feel frustrated, he takes all that stress away. And I talked to him today before I came. So God bless you. Thank you for your sacrifice. We will never forget. Thank you.
There was something I was going to say, but it ultimately, Senator Rick Jones will be up next.
December 7th, the day of infamy, we recall the attack on Pearl Harbor by the nation of Japan. But we also today want to remember 2 soldiers that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Men from Ovid Elsie, good men. Freedom isn't free. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, the United States Coast Guard paid for our freedom with their blood. Thank you for being here and honoring these 2 men.
Michigan Representative Ben Frederick.
It's my honor to represent Shiawassee County, which joins these two communities and has a lot of overlap. As I'm sitting here, I just had a thought running through my head as Gene was talking. Those bios ended way too short. Talking about a guy 18 years old, and that's the end of the story. So my thought as somebody who's also 36, the other gentleman, is we're blessed. These men and women give up their tomorrows so we can have today in this free country. And these signs are not just signs, they're memorials. They're a teaching moment for generations to come about who these men were, and stories will be shared so that their memory stays alive. I hope that other counties, other local governments look to today to see this movement of local sign efforts across the whole state. And I'll be right there helping as I can. But congratulations to this community for honoring your best.
When Major General Stone was talking, and he said that he's seen Ricky on that wall where he works, I've been into their building and Ricky's there. I've seen it. So I've been down to the Vietnam Wall and I've seen Benny. So I can tell you this touches me. All right. At this point, I'm going to get into the Special Family Awards. Rick, if you would, please. Officially, we have to do something in open when we do a special award like this, and it's the Vietnam Lapel Pin. And the purpose is to recognize and thank United States military veterans who served during the Vietnam War. And the eligibility is a U.S. veteran that served actively during the United States Armed Forces during the time of the period of November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975, regardless of the location where you were eligible to receive a Vietnam lapel pin. The lapel pins will be presented in a dignified manner, and the veteran, during a public event held on his communities and the commemoration partners, accompanying remarks should reflect the nation's thanks for their service and sacrifice. It is a rare instance when an honoree cannot attend a public event. The pin may be presented during private, only during those. On the pin, there is an eagle. The eagle represents the courage, honor, and dedication of service to our nation. As one of the most recognizable and noticeable American symbols, it's emblazoned with the distinction on the numerous military insignia. The blue around the color matches the cantation of the American flag and verifies the vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The circle shape of the blue color is also matched by the official seal of the commemoration. The laurel wreath is a time-honored symbol representing the victory, integrity, and strength. The stripes behind the eagle represent the American flag. The 6 stars represent the 6 allies who served, sacrificed, and fought alongside one another: Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, the Republic of Korea, Thailand, and the United States. And on the back, how you can tell it's a true one of these pins, "A grateful nation thanks and honors you," is embossed on the back closest to the heart of the wearer. Also, the official name of the commemoration is included to remind each veteran that this is a nation initiative, and this lapel pin is the nation's lasting memento of saying thank you. Yes. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Rick, we didn't give you these two. This is from the state of Michigan, the commemoration of the 50th end by the Governor Rick Snyder. So you get this, which also is what you're wearing, and along with the state of Michigan.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Now, we get some of these other award things. This is to the Benny Sloat family to receive their new, it's a Family Vietnam War Recognition Memorial Honor Vietnam Award from Congressman John Molinar. And that goes to the Sloat family. I do have some more, but on behalf of the American Legion Post 50502, we purchased a brand new Gold Star emblem so that they can be outwardly and proud of Benny as we are. And this is a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to the family of Private First Class Benny D. Sloat on behalf of a grateful nation. We honor your family of the sacrifice made in the name of freedom and democracy during the Vietnam War. Our nation is forever indebted to you and extends its deepest respect and admiration. Signed by John Molinar, Member of Congress, December 7th, Washington, D.C., 115th Congress, second session. For the Kieffer family, Congressman Molinar's recognition of Ricky's service and sacrifice to his country, presented to the family of Staff Sergeant Ricky A. Kieffer. On behalf of a grateful nation, we honor your family with the sacrifice made in the name of freedom and democracy during the Iraq War. Our nation is forever indebted to you and has extended its deepest respect and admiration. Signed, John Molinar, Member of Congress, Washington, D.C., 115th Congress, signed December 7th, 2018. And again, our family bought them a brand new Gold Star banner for their use and ultimately to know that we are thinking of them. We, from our American, by the way, one of the things, if you didn't know what from the Vietnam Certificates of Honor program, you have the former living American POW, the unaccounted for, in memory of, and this is the deceased veteran's family survivor spouse. So that's what that one is. Aye, again. So what happened is, at our post, we discovered that, well, we sell poppies. And I think that's an important thing because we never know exactly what we can do with it. But what happened is I went and I researched everything we could use poppy fund money. And this is an interesting thing. There's 21 things that you can use to use your poppy fund money from or for. So what happened is our post decided that on here that it says an educational series for the veterans of children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Ricky's daughter, Kira, we missed Dustin. We didn't know about Dustin, or we would have tried to help him. But if he does so decide to do something, we will be here to try to help him. So on behalf of our American Legion Post and all of the people that donate to our Poppy Fund money, we're making a check out to Kira Kieffer for $500 to help support her college, whatever she's going to do, and we're going to give out more as well. So the good thing is, Kira, at the same time, we didn't think that, as a service officer, I was chasing all the stuff from the VA and how much money that they get for college education. The wondrous thing about that is because somebody gives their life, you can get so much money if you do the things right. One of the things, upon reading everything about that and then talking with Kira's mom, is that they keep dipping into their pocket, trying to help Kira and what she's doing. So what happened was, in consultation and working with things, I was trying to kick up I was trying to kick up a GoFundMe page, and I finally did. So it says on there, it talks about that Ricky got killed, but it says https://m GoFundMe help Kira go to college. Dad killed him more. So ultimately, we started a thing to help Kira from here on out. One way or the other, she will not have to worry about funds for college. So that's what we wanted to make certain that you know that. Well, now let's see, how's our time? Well, we're doing pretty good. I kind of got things down, and I know it's just super balmy outdoors, and you just can't wait to walk out there and see what's going on outside, because I got a call from the police department, I got a call from Joe over there, and then ultimately we're figuring out, oh yeah, and somebody called me that they put the signs out and they covered them up with black, and so we're just about ready to kind of move in that direction. But in knowing that some of the people it may not be a good thing for them to go outside and to get down. It's a long way to the corner. And to see the other thing, just a second. Never seen what the memorial signs look like. We just thought that this would be since it's a balmy 27 degrees outdoors, we thought that some of the families in wheelchairs and other people a bit slow would not be able to get down there. It makes it special that you can see them right here today, right without getting out into it. But we still have to go outside and do that at some point. Now, ultimately, special. It's a wondrous thing to see that this is that we've made this much happen since September, the beginning of September. But it's been a great thing that I've never done before. I can take it off my bucket list. So the concept is, if you have a question. Number two, before we go out there, we're not going to be going out there. They didn't want us out there until for a few more minutes. We can start our way out that way in about 5 or 10 minutes. So if you have questions, you want to use the bathroom, you want to go do something else for a few minutes, we will be walking out there. And if you got a question, feel free to. And I thank you all for coming today to make this special day for these two families and for me. Tell me how to get this off.
You gotta be really tall.
You gotta be tall?
You can't figure it out by this age. What are we gonna do with it? Yes, it is. I guess. I'm hoping it's coming. Come on, team. You got a pocket knife? Yeah. Let's get some military assistance. There we go. There we are. Yay! All right.
So they get a picture. Only the pretty ones get to stand.
Ready.
Hey!